Who is generally more intense, an ENFP or an INFP? But before I can answer, please consider subscribing to the channel so Steve Jobs can come back from the dead and prove once and for all that he is in fact an ENTP. And hit the alert bell so that you can be notified as to when I go live. So with that being said, what's up, Eco Hackers? I'm CS Joseph here on the CS Joseph podcast. Here to answer your questions on all things Jungian analytical psychology or the four sides of the mind. And the source of today's question is Terry Cameron. We have Kenley White, who wrote a book here. Let's break it down in digestible bites, graded 1 through 10 for intensity. The bullets aren't 1-to-1 as I try to isolate each type's main characteristics. Super friendly with everyone. Always seem to have a smile on their face. This is an ENFP. Works to bring everyone together for frequent social events. Sometimes doesn't show because they forgot they had other obligations. That's true. Doesn't understand that it puts people in a position where they have to decline. Has artistic leanings but has so little time because they're always busy with others. Usually very open about their lives and they always voice it, drama or not. That's true. Sometimes struggle to say no when it's clear to them that that's their answer. Not necessarily. Wants to be friends with everyone and has the charm to pull it off. True that. Frequently very intelligent. Yep. And has a very warm heart. Depending if that benefits them or not. Total intensity score, 100. Okay, interesting. INFP chooses their friends carefully. Very loyal to those they chose to let in. Put their foot down when with their kids when necessary. Seeks out trusted confidants when they're overly troubled. Has an astonishing sixth sense that can't be defined by science and is freaky good. Any parent, true that. Uses art for an outlet, true that. Efficient use of their recharge time to make art. They do not struggle to tell someone no if that's the answer ever. No, that's not true because sometimes they just stay silent and don't say anything. They always seem to know when friends need a kind word. That's true. Someone lets others' words hurt them. Sometimes lets other words hurt them. Yeah. Frequently very intelligent. Yeah. Has a very warm heart. Yeah. INFP squeaks out the intensity victory. The deciding factor is that freaky sixth sense. I can understand where he's coming from, but that's not accurate, but I'm still going to upvote this anyway for points for creativity. Callie Noble, interested in MBTI since 2004, INFP daydreamer, so it's probably a book, maybe. Who is generally more intense? Isn't so much who is more intense, but who appears to be more intense. Well said. Wow. It's the extrovert versus introvert situation. Extroverts and ENFPs display their intensity on the outside. Introverts, INFPs feel their intensity on the inside and don't always show it externally unless they feel comfortable or overwhelmed. So ENFPs more than likely bubble their sweet selves in a fashion that draws others to them. They exude friendliness, which causes others to flock to them like moths. True. INFPs, on the other hand, hold in most of their emotions and thoughts. They don't often share what's on their mind except with their close dear hearts. I do feel that if an INFP is grouching or speaking in a frustrated tone, they are probably stressed and reached their social limit. That's the downside of holding the emotions in when overstimulated. An INFP might react outwardly, and this little explosive reaction may give the appearance that an INFP is more intense because at that moment they probably are. I'd say that they are both intense in their own ways. Personally, I want to say that the INFP is probably more intense overall, only because the potential to be quick to anger when injustice takes place in their vicinity. But who can truly say? I am upvoting this. That's a very wise response. That's excellent. I'm not going to waste much more time on these responses. So who is generally more intense, an ENFP or an INFP? Technically, on paper, it's the ENFP. The reason why is because they're triple progression and they're triple affiliative. So they're all about doing the right thing. Sometimes that means getting other people to think about doing the right thing consistently. They're a starter type. They have a hard time finishing what they start, but they keep going, they keep going, they keep going. It's like the Energizer Bunny that they won't stop. And the Energizer Bunny has a bunch of zany charm to go along with it. You know what I'm saying? And as a result of that, they absolutely dominate in intensity, especially in groups of people, and definitely overall. However, the INFP can be insanely intense in certain situations. And when their zen has been violated, and let's say it was violated by a significant other underneath their roof or the roof that they're under at that point in time, and they can become insanely intense to that one person behind closed doors. And I would say it's probably even far worse than the ENFP is in that particular moment. So I guess the real answer is just like what Callie said earlier on Quora. It's really situational. If you're looking in terms of like a group setting or with people in general, the ENFP absolutely beats the INFP for sure. But if you're looking at a one-on-one interaction and that one-on-one interaction causes the INFP to become slighted in one point or another, if they're not pretending that person exists, for example, because remember, they'll first start pretending that the other person doesn't exist. And they won't really say anything after a bit. It's all about cold shoulder. But eventually, if that doesn't work and they have no choice but to be overt instead of being covert anymore, their demon is going to come out. Their ISTP demon is going to come out, and it'll be super ragey, and it has this insanely unmatched intensity, right? And that'd be a serious issue. That's not to say that the ENFP, ESTP superego is not insanely intense as well, because it can be, to the point of even being physically violent. But guess what? Both their superegos can be physically violent. I mean, come on. That's just a reality. That being said, though, ENFPs just kind of have a reputation for that zany charm and that intensity that just keeps going and going and going. The level of intensity that makes them amazing motivational speakers, like Jeff Fisher or Owen Cook or Tony Robbins. Those guys are insanely intense. But then you look at INFPs like Robert Greene. Does he really come off as intense to you? No, probably not. Maybe if you were in the bedroom with him, maybe if you were in a fight with him on a one-on-one situation, he might take the intensity award. But predominantly, for the most part, the ENFP is definitely the one who is far more intense most of the time. I'd say the majority of the time. If you're going to make this a primary versus secondary, yang versus yin relationship, the ENFP would be the yang and the INFP would be the yin in this particular moment, if we're going to use that basic equilibrium comparison. So, anyway, if you like your chance at your question being answered on this channel, please post it on Quora and tag me, or leave it as a comment below. And if you want a free copy of the type grid, please visit csjoseph.life/type grid. Put in your first name and your email, and you'll be emailed a copy of the type grid to help you type yourself and others. And also, please watch the videos on that page so you can learn about how the MBTI letter dichotomies are terrible. And then also the other video on the next page that tells you how to even use the type grid. They're very helpful and very useful tools to assist you when you do that. Anyway, with all that being said, folks, I'll see you guys tonight.